Hello. Hello. Welcome to a series of videos. I'm going to talk about two controversial topics in the spirit of you, stranger, who's watching me on YouTube, getting to know me, deciding if I'm going to be someone worthy of your very precious YouTube time and social media interaction time. Because you don't know me, and I don't know you, and I want you to make an informed choice on hearing my views and to find out what kind of guy I am and stuff. So, in part 2 of my crazy series of videos, this is one of the most controversial topics ever in the internet, the history of the internet. Star Wars versus Star Trek. That's right. Rocking the New York Rangers hat. Follow me on Twitter. Read as the Dudar at twitter.com, but make sure you're 18 or older, because my Twitter's for adults, and thank you for watching. Alright, Star Wars versus Star Trek. Okay, I like both. And both of them are awesome in lots of different ways. But Star Wars is up here, Star Trek's probably about here. Star Wars is better in every way you can measure quality, excitement, entertainment. It just is. I'm a Star Wars guy. Like I'm a Paul Heyman guy, I'm a Star Wars guy. Seeing the Star Wars movies when I was a little kid, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi are some of the fondest memories I have as a child, growing up with my family and my mom and my dad and everything. I love those movies. And when Canada first got super awesome, cable television channels, like HBO, in Canada we had a channel called First Choice Super Channel. 2 different channels. And they played Star Wars 5 times a day for months at a time. So Star Wars is the movie I've seen more than any other movie. And I still watch Star Wars to this day. I'm a Star Wars guy, and I love the prequels for what you can. And I can't wait for Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, this December. I hope to see it twice opening day, and I hope J.J. Abrams does a good job, because I think he will. Now, on to Star Trek. I like Star Trek. I'm a Next Generation guy over the original cast. I love the Next Generation a lot more. The 7 seasons of that television series was fantastic. Some of the best science fiction TV I've ever watched, and I can still watch that show to this day. The Next Generation movies, I loved all 4 of them. I'm the only guy on the internet that might admit that Star Trek Insurrection is my favorite of the Next Generation movies. And I'm sorry, I loved J.J. Abrams' take on Star Trek. The new Star Trek reboot and the Star Trek Into Darkness with the new improved Khan. I loved both of those movies. I love them, they're entertaining, and they're more like Star Wars movies, and that's why I love them. But I love the casting of the new Star Trek characters, Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto. All fantastic. But let's get to it. The worst Star Wars movie is The Phantom Menace. I'm new to YouTube, it's 2015, we're not going to have this discussion. Jar Jar Binks, unless you were a kid, was very hit and miss. But Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul alone make The Phantom Menace decent. Where in the Star Trek movie universe you have the motion picture, which is boring, but taught many men that you can like a woman who's bald, because that woman was pretty hot back then, but it was a boring movie and not very good. Star Trek The Search for Spock, no Kirstie Alley, no dice. I'm sorry, Kirstie Alley didn't come back. The special effects weren't as good in Star Trek 3 as they were in Star Trek 2. Star Trek 3, and the worst Star Trek movie in the history of the cinema in the world, Star Trek V The Final Frontier, where Spock's brother looks for God, directed by William Shatner, who should never, ever, ever direct anything, is the worst Star Trek movie and one of the worst movies of all time. So, 3 awful Star Trek movies versus 1 mediocre Star Wars movie. And then, don't get into this whole, what if the 2 universes got into a battle? Star Wars technology and the Death Star and the Force destroy the entire Star Trek universe. The Borg, the Dominion, all that stuff, all of it. It's not even close, so don't even go there. It's not. And sorry, but George Lucas creating an entire universe from scratch is way more creative and was harder than Gene Roddenberry going, I wonder what humans are going to be like in 200 years. I wonder what society is going to be like in 200 years. I wonder if we're going to have law. I wonder if we're going to have money. I wonder if everyone's going to live in peace. I'm not discrediting what Star Trek is, and it's great for what it is, and there's a lot of good things about Star Trek that are better than Star Wars. But overall, Star Wars kicks Star Trek's ass, but you can like them both. So I'm a Star Wars guy. So moving forward, this video will help you decide if I'm worth watching on YouTube, following on Twitter, taking my advice on movie reviews, wrestling, pop culture stuff, and anything else I do in the future. This video, whenever you watch it, will be, hey, Reed's a Star Wars guy. I like Reed. I like Canada. That's what you're going to get from this video. So, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comments, whatever. It's all good. I appreciate it very much. This is a learning thing. Hashtag laptop problems. Hashtag Jewish magic. Hashtag Jewish ghetto. I've tried this video 4 times now. Let's see if this works. Star Wars versus Star Trek. I like them both, but Star Wars is way better. Thank you. Go New York Rangers. Cheers. Thanks for watching.